Hi everyone. So today we'll disassemble a Nebula mouse. So this will help you in assembling a new piece. So to disassemble the mouse, first we will go through the top screws. So you can just shift the knob towards one side and then you will have easy access to the screws. So on top there are 5 screws and there are 2 special screws which are of a longer length, and care must be taken while putting these screws, or if you put the screws on a wrong side, right, it will damage the PCB. So I'll just show you which 2 screws I'm talking about. So if you see, these are all small screws. So I have kept the mouse like this. So this is the USB connector, it is facing this side, and this is the front side, and 2 buttons are on the side. Okay, so here if you see on this side there are 2 screws, so one here and one here. So these are going through the PCB, and these are around 20, I believe 20 mm. So if you insert these screws anywhere else, right, so they may damage the PCB. Not maybe, they will definitely damage the PC. We'll just open. So these particular screws are a bit long. So like you can see, this is a long screw. Okay, so these screws are out. Once this is out, the top assembly will come out, and first thing we'll do is open the ribbon connector here, and this top assembly will come out. So there are 2 buttons here. So these buttons so have a padding here which helps them in retaining their place, and they act as a spring, so they are always aligned after pressing them. So this material is the same material what I have used for the bottom part. And while putting these switches, this switch body, so they press on the top part, right? So you may need to file them a bit so that you get a proper fit. And there is a bottom part here which has to be glued in. Okay, this is separate part because this would have created an overhang, and it would be difficult to print this part in one go. So there is a separate bottom part here. Okay, both of them are same dimension only, so even if you switch them, both will work. So then on the top part we have this weights. So 2 weights are there. So in this particular configuration it is difficult to remove them. It may depend on your printer, but normally they are very tight and you will find it difficult to pull them out. So that's where we'll go from the bottom side. So this is the bottom side. So bottom side has 4 screws. So this bottom part is out now. Okay, so this is the bottom part, and this is a button. So this is again a 3D printed part, and the top part is a silicone tactile switch button. Okay, and the weights are already installed here, and this part which is a opaque part, right, so that the LEDs can flash through or the light can pass through, and that this acts as a diffuser also. So this all has been glued in so that it becomes one solid piece. So there is a bottom weight and then two side weights are there. So on the other side, so this is a back plate and it has to be printed in black so that the LED light will not diffuse into the top body, which is printed in white PETG here. This we can remove now, and underneath that the main PCB is there, so we can disconnect the battery here. We'll take it out from here. So you can see the main PCB now. So this is the main PCB, and on the bottom of the PCB these wires have to be connected like this. Okay, so there is a black ground wire and one positive wire going like this, and this has to be connected to the main board. This is that XIO module. On this particular housing we have 4 brass inserts, and there are 2 plates of weights now, and now we can pull them out. So depending on your print and the quality of laser cutting, these metal plates, it may be very tight, and you may have to apply some force, and all these parts you may have to file them a bit so that the fitting is proper. Okay, so these are the 2 additional weight plates. So this particular full thing is comprising of the weights. So this finishes the bottom assembly. Now let's see the top assembly. So top assembly has, first of all, 3 screws are there. So we'll remove these 3 screws. So these screws are going directly into the threaded inserts which are there on the PCB. Okay. So when you remove this screw, so there is another part, top part. So this is another spacer here. So this part is also separate now. Okay. So like this it is there, and both of them have provision for the ribbon cable to pass. Okay, so now this is the main PCB. So let's remove this ribbon cable also. So you see here, these are the screw where the screws were mounted. So the center screw is the main screw which is holding. There is another support here. Okay, so to remove it, we have to use these particular holes to access the inner screws. So there are 3 screws which are holding the main body. Okay, so like you can see the screws are still there, and this is the main body. Okay, and you can see the springs are all soldered here, and this is the cap, and you can also remove. Till this point I can remove, beyond that we cannot go without desoldering the connectors. So once this screw is removed, so this mushroom part, this is one of the key parts in this mouse, which limits the motion and prevents the springs from overstretching, so that they maintain their length. Exactly. So top part, you can see these are the 4 magnets here, and this is another 3D printed part which has been glued in, and once you install the screw will hold it actually, because screws will pass from this plastic part and then they will be going inside the body of the top cap. So there is a jig to which is there to solder these top plates, so you can use that. And one tip I would say is, after soldering you will see that no matter how you solder, it will be little bit off. So what normally you do is you just keep it here, and you can see that it should be totally flush with the top part. Okay, if it is not flush, then what you can do is you can just open it, and whichever spring you see is not fully or it's compressed a bit, you can just pull it from that side like this. Okay, this will allow you to adjust it, so it will make it totally parallel to the top surface, and once it is parallel, then you can install it back again like here, like this. Okay, and the top parts have a notch here. Okay, so this tells how it has to be soldered. So on the bottom PCB there is a small notch here, and on top PCB there is a white line here. Okay, both of them should align, and the idea is when you are using the mouse, this is facing towards you. Okay, so this I would say is the Y axis, and that will be the negative axis of Y actually. I will give some close-up of the PCB, so that may help you in assembly. This is the bottom part.